3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Yeah, take that.
Digesting steak 10%.
Yeah. I literally just finished eating it maybe like 30 minutes ago.
Did you have anything with steak?
Yes, always.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Boy doesn't. He just
Baked potatoes, green beans. So,
yeah. So if I don't have the right side available, it's just steak.
just steak.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd make steak if I didn't have a baked potato.
Oh, I'm totally full of just
Yeah, okay.
steak.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
No. No. Steak for me is, it's not a means to an end. It's something that needs to be treasured.
It's an experience.
No, I wouldn't even say it's an experience. It's just expensive.
Well, usually if I have a side, that just kind of dilutes the salt flavor of the steak.
Well, you eat the steak first.
I always mix the bites.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Fair enough. but
Yeah, okay, fine.
That's a little bit weird. That's a little bit weird with steak.
I don't know if I have mashed potatoes or noodles or whatever. Yeah, I just put that on, put the steak bite in. Actually, I do that with like all my meat.
Yeah, that's okay. Like, I mean, if you're like, chicken or anything else like that, but steak usually it's on its own.
Then you can eat the whole steak on your own.
Okay.
But he said that
Nobody's
that
stopping.
doesn't work.
No, it's fine. I mean, if I'm going to go through the trouble of making a steak, I'm going to make a baked potato because that's fucking easy.
Well, I hate baked potatoes. So
What?
it's just, they're gross.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
I've always hated baked potatoes.
Why? It's an assembled mashed potato.
Mashed potatoes, like, already, like, I don't know, baked potatoes are always dry and, like, you have to put all this extra gunk in there.
What do you
all that
think's in
stuff.
mashed potatoes? It's just
But it's
butter.
already ready.
Yeah.
And milk.
And milk.
Sour
And
cream,
it's
depending on how you're
sitting
doing
mayonnaise.
it.
right there.
Actually putting
I don't
mayonnaise
have
in
to.
mashed
I could
potatoes.
see mayonnaise working.
Mayonnaise makes fucking badass mashed potatoes.
I can see it.
So-
You probably don't have to use much. Huh?
No, it just makes them really
Yeah.
creamy.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all the same stuff. It's just a different form of matter.
Right.
Look, I'm not going to fight with you. Honestly, of all things, I'd prefer mashed potatoes with my steak than I would a baked potato. But
See, for me, like mashed potatoes, they take more work. So
depends on what you're using, man.
that's true. So if I'm using the box, then it takes a
Yeah.
lot more. So, but I actually don't have any box. I used all my box stuff. So, and then ever since then, I get the big sack of the Yukon Golds, and now I use that pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're not hard to mash it up, man.
No.
But that's my meatloaf side. So whenever I make meatloaf or pot roast, I make a mashed potatoes. So
Yeah, but this is him, man. So this
I
is
know,
like,
man.
so what's...
just put it in a dog bowl, whatever.
Well, actually, like KFC used to make something just like that.
Yeah, I've done
Um,
that.
But
The chicken sandwich.
No, the bowl. It had mashed potatoes with the chicken.
Oh, they still make those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they just
Actually,
hit you with like
KFC makes chicken nuggets now. They're fantastic.
Oh, really?
They just started. They're as juicy as Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, and they got like the KFC flavor.
Here's funny. I don't like Chick-fil-A nuggets at all.
Really?
No, I
They're
don't
the
really like.
worst.
I like their sandwiches. So.
They're actually
Sandwiches
like-
are great, but their nuggets are kind of vile. And it's not just the quality; it's just the taste of them are
Yeah,
terrible.
they have a different taste. It's like like I've always liked McDonald's nuggies the best.
That's
So-
where I'm gonna go with this.
But
Yes.
my daughter like refuses to eat the Mickey D's ones because she got hooked on the Wendy's ones, and those taste fucking
Those are
weird.
not bad.
Yeah, but they're not like McDonald's. They're not. Yeah.
I guess Wendy's is not all chicken.
Well, I don't care.
Well,
You
I
think the
guess
stuff in McDonald's is all chicken?
Supposedly,
Yeah.
like
You didn't see that video, did you?
Wendy's is like 50%.
The pink slime.
Yeah,
That's a real thing, you know.
I
Pink
don't
speller and more legs.
Well, they're just nuggies. I mean, look, nobody's immune from this because, like, it depends on how you want to liquefy it. Because all it is, anytime that you're making a nugget, you're taking that meat, you're grinding it up into essentially like a.
It's a hot dog.
Not like Chick-fil-A though, because it's actual meat that you can see tear apart.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but see,
And that's what KFC is like now.
and
they
those
do
aren't
have
nuggies.
cutlets.
Those are basically like cutlets or tenders.
Yeah,
Those would be
they
tenders.
just call them nuggies because of the size.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And again, I don't have a problem with that. It's just their flavor on those for nuggies. They just I don't like it.
What, the KFC ones?
Well, then maybe you
No,
like the
the-
KFC ones,
The
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
because it's not like their popcorn chicken where it was.
I liked that.
I
They
like the
were
popcorn
really
chicken.
small and kind of dry. These ones are actually
Yeah,
like,
those are the
moist.
parts of the chicken that don't fit anywhere else. Yeah.
Oh, like anybody here is like, because everything we're talking about is basically like floor sweepings food, right? Where it's like, no, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the stuff that you put together here. Look, they're nuggies. I guarantee you they're using like surplus parts of the chicken that they have here, right? I guarantee you it's.
boxes and other stuff. It's like cardboard filler.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the. Look, everybody has their version of what you get from Ace Hardware to finish off your nuggies, right?
To glue it all together.
Because I'm not going to sit there and pretend like those fucking dinosaur ones that you get from
Costco. Oh
No.
my god, those are very sus, man. I ate a lot of those. Yeah,
Like, if it was illegal, I think they'd be pulled by now, but they all have something like that. Because if you're not eating whole meat, if you're not eating it with the bone in anyway, I mean, you're getting
Well,
it kind of processed anyway.
well, all those nuggets. Yeah, it's a chicken hot dog. So
Yeah.
it's just emulsified or whatever it is. They put all that water in it. And
It is a
yeah,
lot of water.
Flavor and yeah, just
Right, yeah. So it's xanthanum gum. So
Right.
whatever.
right. That shit that Fonzie puts in his hair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. What is that, pomade?
vomit. Yeah.
You and I haven't had to worry about that for a
No.
minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Pomade or the L'Oreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
Cartier
what's in there?
fruit
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
None of you guys have ever considered dyeing your hair, have you?
You know, if mine would grow again, there was a point in time where I actually wanted to do the frosted thing just once, just to see how it looked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the full Guy Fieri thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it never grew that way, and now it's starting to separate like the icebergs. So, you know,
You got the Pangea thing going on.
yeah, so
You
it's
got
breaking
continents?
into multiple cuts now. Yeah.
Brother, I got continents too. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like full Antarctica yet, but
No, but yeah, I think I probably would have done that. So if I had actually managed to
Yeah.
retain my hair.
Well, it's just I can see a little bit of like because I was thinking like the beards because I can see you guys have a couple of flecks of.
Oh, I
I
pull
got
out
silver.
big old white ones, man. So all the
Well,
time.
you guys got some graceful silvers in there. So
Yeah, mine are white.
Yeah,
So
mine
mine
goes
are
stark
white.
white.
Not
yeah.
the ones you have now.
Yeah, they're either black or they're just like completely white.
No, mine are ghostly white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because from here they're mixed in with the black ones.
Right,
So
right,
they
yeah,
look gray.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
But if I let like the sides get longer, then there's more gray in there.
Oh yeah. See, I grew mine out, and I didn't get any gray on the sides yet. So I keep I'll let it go for a few weeks just to see, and it
I could come close to Reed Richards.
Really?
Wrap
I was
all
gonna
the
say,
way
yeah,
around,
you kinda-
but it
wow,
kind of
alright,
goes up the sides a bit and all that. But
Was your mom have white hair?
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Didn't she have that when she was like 40?
she's been dying it. For a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
long
She
time.
said
Yeah.
that her hair started going white.
with you.
Well, the day after I was born.
You did almost kill her.
There was that, and evidently I wasn't a small baby,
Yeah.
and she's a tiny woman.
Yeah, that's true.
So, when she gave birth to the, pumpkin, that is me, I guess it took a lot out of her. And life didn't get easier from that point on.
Yeah, you guys kept it challenging, but
That's how our love language.
that is true.
If you watch any kind of female-centric show. That's what they constantly talk about.
A female-centric show. Wow.
Yeah, when it comes to any kind of like relationship show or reality show, they're always talking about how a person demonstrates their love language.
Oh, okay.
And there's tests you can do.
I think it's bullshit. I think no. I think this is just this utter crap because it's something. It's like I make it akin to like the Mandela effect. Where,
I love the Mandela effect.
What is the Mandela effect?
Things that you
Go ahead.
swear were one way. So it's the idea that there's like an alternate universe that some of us are in and others aren't, because you will know certain things were a certain way. Like I know we read Berenstein Bear,
Oh, yeah.
but you go and grab the book now.
It's EIN, yeah.
No.
Oh,
Stang.
Stang. Yeah, you're right.
It's not. Yeah, you're right. That's wrong. It was EIN.
well, you have to hold on to something. Okay, this memory is very.
I have a
recent.
lot of those.
Okay.
Well, I do
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I've
okay.
looked at the books now, and it's. But I know, like, there's no way I wouldn't have called it Berenstain Bears if I saw AIN.
Well,
I
and
don't
and
know. Yeah.
it could be well. There's other things where you may have crossover things where. Keep in mind, these shows also had. These books also had shows, so in one of the shows
They
they
did
may
have
refer
shows.
to them that way.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing like with the old like Hulk show from the Lou Ferrigno one. There are people that still call him David Banner because they wouldn't let him be called Bruce because they thought it was a gay name.
Right.
But I mean that's just from the show. So there are people who retroactively say, "Oh, he's always been David Banner," right?
Right.
Well, then Star Wars. Okay, you're Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Does he say, Luke, I am your father?
He says, "No, I am your father."
Yeah. He says no. It's always been no. But he says Luke like 40 times before that.
Yeah. Luke.
Well, there's a part like
Yeah,
after
I
he
know.
leaves where he's talking to him telepathically and he keeps saying it like longer.
Yeah.
Luke. But no, like
Father.
like I was remembering this just the other day, right? Because we were talking about like Transformers and G.I. Joe and stuff, right? So you remember how these toys, when you get one of the vehicles, it would also come with like a small little catalog of other,
Mhm.
figures in the line. And what I remember is that we made presumptions about words that we couldn't pronounce. So there was a group of
Chaos was mine.
Oh, right.
Cows. Yeah.
right, and there was a group in there called Sarge's Marauders. We didn't know what a marauder was, so we refer to them as Sarge's Murderers.
Murders.
There was a group in there run by
Bunga's ambitious.
yes, there was a group in there run by Destro's crew who were called the Iron Grenadiers. We didn't know what a
Grenadiers,
grenadier.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
grenadiers, right? This is what I'm talking about. Is given how we just sort of like skipped over syllables, is it entirely possible that
No.
we just saw it and associated with a name that actually does exist?
See,
No. The Berenstain
I can
Bears
go
did
verify it because I guarantee you the copies that I have are originals.
So this actually
So,
came up
this
at
is-
work.
Yeah.
Right.
So what one of the guys said that he's found the theory of how this all started is they actually created the Higgs boson particle, and at that point it fractured the universe and merged, like it overlapped universe.
Your boss needs to give you guys more work. Yeah.
But that's the precise moment when the Mandela effect.
And that's the argument there is that
Oh, your history. What
Okay.
happened at Tiananmen Square?
Yeah.
Did he get run over?
No.
he did not, but about 14,
Yeah,
like a
like-
whole bunch of other people did.
Well, they didn't get run. They got shot.
Yeah.
There was there's almost no footage of that made it out of there, but thousands of people got shot.
Yeah.
He didn't get run over.
No, he didn't. They grabbed his ass. So yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get
Where-
run over.
Where did Mandela die?
Are we talking about Nelson Mandela? Why is he associated with the?
He's the event.
He's the namesake of this. Because
Why?
people assume that he died in the 80s when he
No.
was in prison.
No, he got out of prison. He was the president of fucking South Africa.
Right. Right. There are a lot of people that say he died in prison.
They're wrong.
Well, the argument that they say here is that they say that it's not that when you say like, okay, I can go get the books and look, right? That won't matter because the realities have basically crossed. Right?
Yes.
This
Some
is
of
the
us
argument.
remember.
But your
things.
books, if you go to them, they will say AIN, and you will say, I swear it was EIN.
Right.
Which makes absolutely no fucking sense because at that point you're saying, wait, the realities merged, the authorship changed, it has always been this, but somehow your memories are unaffected.
Right.
No, I went to the other universe where things were so similar but just a little bit different.
So
I thought multiple universe theory was basically garbage. No. I don't. Okay. All right. All right.
I mean,
So
you know,
this is just this is a tabletop exercise.
this is
kinda.
basically a way of people saying like, no, I didn't remember it wrong.
Right. Okay.
I'm just saying I could have swore.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that though, man. So that I remember, like my brother and I, we get in arguments all the time about like who had what car. My parents had so many cars over the years when we were growing up. And so we were arguing about one just the other day. So, and I swear I was right. Then I asked my mom. She's like, "No, your brother's right." Fuck. So, yeah.
Well, it's one of those ones you're ironclad because you follow this chain of events where you're like, no, it had to be this one because in 1987,
Exactly.
that's when I did this, this, and this, and
Right.
this. And she could say, well, I have the deed. It says.
Right, yeah, exactly. It was my car. You know, yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's just one of those things where, yeah, sometimes you kind of get your head wrapped around something. I don't know.
Now, I would enjoy it if this, multiversal thing was kind of accurate, but no, there's absolutely nothing to substantiate this in any way, shape, or form.
I guess
I thought the multiverse was one of those theories that you could neither prove nor disprove. So it was, basically a scientific mulligan. Am I wrong about that? I've seen a couple podcasts on it, but
I don't know.
Well, they can. Okay, so
it is a real thing.
it's a theoretical thing. It's
Right.
It's as theoretical as basically all of this being a simulation, right? Which
Oh, there's a really good argument that
Yeah.
kind of disproved that.
But disproves it?
Yeah. Fuck, what was that? That was a little while ago. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's sort of okay. Very difficult to prove or disprove.
Right.
But what?
I don't know.
No, it sounds like you know something about this.
No. Well,
Oh,
just like
okay.
the simulation thing and some of the wackadoo shows I watch, like the paranormal stuff on tape. They've
They
seen
love
like
that stuff.
they've seen like a bird just frozen in air, and then they can like move stuff around and like nothing happens, and then all of a sudden the bird starts flying.
So it's like a glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen it. And they've got some with like 5 sheep in the hill that are all just standing there completely frozen and like,
I've seen that one. Yeah.
do this and like you're doing that and like nothing happens and then like all of a sudden they're just like and they just start walking like normal and like they're not even startled that they see you there or anything like
And this is like that ghost at like that soccer game. This is
Right, yeah.
a perfectly valid explanation. It's like, no, he's right there. It's and if you watch the video a little bit more, he like takes his seat. Not a fucking ghost. I mean, no, again, this is all stuff I want to believe in. Just there's nothing like I guarantee you there's a meaningful explanation to that.
there probably is.
I mean, it's the same.
There's a chance.
That we could be living in a simulation.
I don't really think it's simulation.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like simulation.
How do they say they disproved?
I'm gonna have to go back and look at it. I'm drawing a blank on it. I'm only at 20% stake. So, but yeah. But no, it was something I can't remember. It was either on Rogan or it was on Friedman's podcast where they were talking about it, and they had a physicist on there, and he was. It wasn't the Japanese guy with the hair, and it wasn't Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was another dude. So.
He's one of the TV physicists.
No, he's a real one. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of
they're
those guys are
real,
real.
but-
Yeah, but
They've made their
They made their
niche
bones. Yeah.
being on the Science
Yeah.
Channel somehow, some way.
right.
They're talking about the universe or aliens or something.
Aliens. Yeah. Yeah. What happened to the alien thing? Was there any news on that this week?
I didn't hear it.
I didn't see anything on it. So did Twitter squash that story? So
Well, the Russia thing happened.
I
Then that was the news for like
Well, my man.
3-4
that was
days.
so fucking funny.
He on Twitter for as you called it, the Russia thing, and I think that's how it's going to be known in Wikipedia. Is the Russia thing was
That must have been delightful.
well, it was the funniest goddamn thing I'd ever seen because so yeah, there's a bunch of dudes out there and of course ladies and whatever, right, that still tout that Ukrainian flag in their bios
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. So when this is going on, these people are seeing, I think it's Wagner's thing, right?
Well, that's the group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wagner is.
and it's like Poluski or
Oh, the guy's name is Prigozhin.
Prigozhin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Prigozhin.
So there's the gang of Ukrainian flags is basically they canonized this man as a saint.
He's a fucking Nazi.
Well, this was the funny thing was
He's an actual Nazi.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, guys, he's going to Moscow, right? He's going to the Kremlin because he has different ideas on how to exterminate you.
Yeah.
This
And
one
he's
needs to
being
go
hamstrung.
much faster.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, he's not saving you. I was like,
No,
that was the funny
no.
thing is they crown this guy as this like, yeah, he may cause some problems. Don't get me wrong. He still might, but yeah, it was like, what the fuck do you think is happening? Like,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of news and you're like, oh, this dude, he's ended it. He's
for peace.
It's like the fuck he is.
Man, I've been watching this guy for like months. So
Yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's fucking he's terrible news. Like, first of all, he's a horrible human being. He's trafficked like sex slaves all over the world. He spent time in prison. So back when, it was actually communist Soviet Russia. And then I think in the 90s. And then
He is a close associate of Putin.
kind of, but
They have been in the past.
They have been in the past, so yeah. And then, but then he's been. So the Russians have been using this Wagner group as basically a quasi, like off the books military for a while. And they've been doing some fucked up shit in Syria and then in Africa and all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. And so he's just bad news, man. And yeah, like I don't think he's actually come out with Nazi things, but he hires a lot of Nazis. Like one of his commanders actually has tattooed Schustaffel insignia where it goes on a German uniform. This is the most scary looking motherfucker I think I've ever seen. He looks like he would kill you and eat your dog. So yeah.
Did you see the video he posted like the other day, like after the event?
With all the dead people?
with all the dead people
Yeah.
and basically like his choice of language?
Oh, every third word is like fuck out of his mouth.
not
yeah.
even that.
Yeah.
He let me just say that 80s slang is still currency
yeah, it's still
over there.
currency over there. Yeah.
So
No.
lots of insults to people's manhoods.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that guy's really bad news. So, and then he just quit. He's like, "No, I'm done." I was like, "What?"
Well, that was the most bizarre
I don't get. I need to get a good story on this one, man, because everybody's got a take on it. I think they're probably all wrong. So
The absolute bizarre part of that was, again, for being a mercenary group, right? His whole gripe is he's complaining about we're getting killed because you're not giving us ammunition. And I'm like,
yeah.
but you're mercenaries. You supply your own.
Well, but he gets his own. He gets everything from
Sources.
So this actually makes a little bit of sense, because Putin's kind of weak, and so it makes sense for him to not have like all this power concentrated in the hands of just his military minister, and so that's why there's a second military. This is just like the SS in Germany during World War II. So they had the You had the army, and then you had the Waffen SS. Okay, they do the same fucking thing, all right, but they're controlled by different people who have different like loyalties to Hitler, and he did that on purpose because he's not dumb. So he knew that like if these army guys ever got out of line, they could depose him in 5 minutes. And likewise, if the SS guys ever got out of line, the army guys can depose them in 5 minutes. And so you can't play divide and conquer unless there's shit to divide. So yeah. So that kind of makes sense, but then the guy, I don't know why he noped out. It was. I want the story, man.
There's
you couldn't write this.
I know.
If you wrote this as a movie script, people would be like, nah.
Because it's when it starts, it's like, so you rolled in unopposed to this city.
Right.
There were different rumors of like shooting down a helicopter or not. Whether the column was being fired upon or not.
I've heard that he shot down up to 5 in a plane, and then I've heard that they like blew up drawbridges, and then like tore up the highway so they couldn't get in there. I've heard so much shit that he just needs to like settle down for a couple weeks, before you actually get the real story, because something fucking weird happened in Russia, man.
I'm fairly so. Well, the funny thing was, still after that, it's clear that there was a discussion or two that was had. This wasn't something that like, we've gone far enough, guys, let's go back, right? So something was said, but the public presentation afterwards, the next day, Putin was like, no, I still have problems with this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still a criminal, and
it was like not 12 hours after he said, "Oh, they can all leave and go to Belarus." And it was like, what?
So I don't know if it's one of those.
Makes no sense.
It
moments
makes
where it's
no
like, look,
sense.
I have to say this about you, but you're free to go. But
Did he actually do a statement in front of the media, or was that just?
Yeah, he did, and then he disappeared again he's been gone for like the last 2 days again. So it's like, what the fuck is going on, man? It's obviously not like, it just speaks to like fucking Bush League bullshit,
that's kind of what's going on, though. I mean,
it's like, wait a minute, are we really afraid of these guys? Why? So,
it's a tough thing because it's what you're looking at here are sort of, at least to me, it seems like you've got, especially like on the Russian side, like guys that don't want to acknowledge, like, you guys are second rate now. Like, you're not.
Very much so.
You're not the world power you think you are.
No. So.
And you're having a really, really rough time accepting it.
And the kids are fighting now in front of mom and dad, and so it's. That was just so, and that was after he came back from Africa, waving that piece of paper around, saying, "Hey, the Ukrainians here are fucking, they agreed to peace after, and it was like, really? Okay, well, I'll think about that a little bit." But
I feel like this would be the leading story. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would have come out earlier, but whatever. So, but anyway. It was just like, all right, so he's going to try and get support around the world and stuff. And then there's this fucking, clown show rolls on into town this weekend.
Yeah, and there's this sense, like, when that was going on, like, all I could picture in my head is that what is it? It's that Hitler movie. It's the one that they make all of the famous memes.
Oh yeah. Steiner didn't attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he throws the pens, and, and he tells everybody to wait outside except for Krebs and
that's Das End.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he never get it back. Yeah, he got his Xbox account banned.
And I quote, "Fuck the fucking bowling game."
Yeah, that's right. But you can still play the Wii. Fuck the fucking bowling games.
I
forgot about that. That's downfall.
Yeah. And I just kind of felt like as Putin was leaving Moscow, because they did say that he left the Kremlin. That was for sure, because they had his jet going, and then they turned the transponder off. But
he left.
They came back.
Putin left. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that's prudent, right? That's what you would do. But
yeah,
I get the sense that he's probably, like, at this point, like, starting to get kind of pissed. Like,
well, I heard they arrested one of his generals today, so that guy's gonna get strung up. He's gonna get piano wired. So yeah, so here we go. Get your popcorn, man. So because
We're doing this again. That's
I guess we're doing this.
that's
again,
just
yeah.
how Russians do things.
I
huh?
guess, man. So yeah, I just need to wall it off and call it North Korea too. So
Yeah, it was like nonstop news over the weekend, and then by Monday they're just like, "There's really not much else to say.
yeah,
There's nothing, got nothing new."
Bro, I
All
literally.
right, we're back to whatever's going on around
I
here.
Yeah.
shit you not. I was following it closely, like until about like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And then no shit, like I went to sleep, woke up, and it was done. It was like they're going back. Like the hell you say? Because I was like, I'll bet you, I was dying. Like I got the phone like right after I woke up because I'm like, oh shit, I gotta see what's going on.
Oh,
And they're
wow.
like, we're going back.
I was actually at a party when it was going on.
Oh,
So it's just a family reunion thing, but I mean, my phone, I had T-Mobile, and apparently that doesn't work where I was. So I had shit reception. So the entire time I'm like, I wonder if Putin's dead.
that's
You know,
again,
or I
that's
was
what-
like, I
what-
wonder what
I was
happened.
like, yeah.
Kind of thing. You get back to the hotel, it's like, oh, they turned around. I was like, that fucking figures.
So disappointing.
Well, I mean, you don't want that guy to be in charge of nuclear missiles. So, yeah, exactly.
I don't, but the it wouldn't hurt my feelings to be seeing those guys actually slugging it out with Russia proper.
Yeah. So my understanding is that's actually not terribly likely. So, and then so I was reading this one thing today, and I don't know. We'll have to see if this theory holds up over the next couple of weeks with the news and stuff. But apparently, this dude was like trying to get the entire army to follow him there.
Yeah.
And the army was like, "We don't have orders to do that. If we don't have orders, we don't move." And it's like, well, this doesn't sound like a very rebellious population.
But okay, but that was the thing. But the thing was, they didn't have orders to follow. But it's also like they played that same card and said, "Well, we don't have specific orders not to let you in."
Yeah, well, and the same thing. We don't have orders to stop this convoy. So,
Which is just insane.
You're playing both sides.
I
Like,
I feel
are you gonna win? Are you?
yeah, I feel fairly certain that they did have specific orders. Don't let them go.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I
too
know.
opaque.
I know.
Then there's too many hot
It's
takes on it.
complete guesswork.
And I did see a lot of people who are very pro-Ukraine thinking it was a great thing without actually doing their
So
homework on
fucking
that.
funny. I was like,
So,
guys.
but I've seen a lot of pro-Russia guys too. It's like, oh well, back to the war, so kind of thing. And it's like, actually, I think Russia's going to lose this thing. So it's starting to look.
Yeah.
It's starting to look like they're very B team, man. So-
Well, they're just getting drained. They're getting drained and drained and drained. Like,
yeah.
this what they keep talking about. Like, okay, well, they're holding this city. I'm like, yeah, but you're holding it. You don't
Yeah.
control it. Like, this is the shit where this is not like formal war either. It's not like you go out there and you capture Paris and suddenly
No.
you're like, well, this is German now, and
Right, yeah.
so
I collect 3 minerals.
right. Sometimes it's nice that you can put into words exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, so
It's like they have oil here.
yeah, it's like, okay, give me your industry bucks because I
Yeah,
have
right, yeah. Give me your IPCs.
Yeah, there's it's like
Or
everything
buy
that
3
you
tanks.
every minute that you spend defending this place that you captured, right, is costing you so much.
A lot.
Not just in that, but just dollars, well, rubles and everything like that. And
Well, people.
yes,
You can't just
Yes.
leave a one
Oh, man.
in the country in the city and just be like, it's a line. I'm gonna keep going.
like risky.
you know, try to
Oh, yeah.
This is the offensive. Either we take it right now, or you gotta trail all the way back to our capital.
No kidding.
Where the fuck is like Russia's trade in? I mean, because that's I don't know what it's at.
They're waiting for Alberta horse.
Right.
I really need that horse card.
I forgot. Were you allowed to trade?
In Risk?
I don't think
I
so.
think you were allowed. I think we did it at some point.
because it seems so antithetical to the game itself. Like, if you actually do enact a trade with someone, it's clear that you're colluding.
Oh yeah, the third person just
Oh yeah.
bullshit.
That's why you don't play that game with 3 people, man. So it's always a 2-person gangbang then. So yeah.
I have not remotely got my kids into Risk.
Risk?
I think Risk is a
It's
2-player
done.
game. I don't think it works with 4. I don't think it
No.
works with 3.
Yeah,
I
because
think it's a
whoever gets
2-player
eliminated quick is just they're gonna go play video games.
Yeah, you're gonna do something else.
Yeah.
Man. Or they're just gonna cash in their cards or turtle up in Australia for a while.
Right.
You know.
If it's 2, you're automatically going to make teams and things
Yeah.
like that, because nobody's ever going to actually do the flip and say, like, you know, we're going to finish you off.
See, that was like a lot of the games that were like that, where you could have like a little bit of diplomacy in them. They never really worked with us very well. No, the games were always better. It's like, all right, we're red team, you guys are blue team, let's go. So kind of thing, you know.
And if it's that, then you should make that the game from the start.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
So-
it's how the other ones are the same thing, where it's like, well, he's winning, so
We all got to gang up.
we all
on
got to
it,
gang
yeah.
up on it.
And make this game go even longer now.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, there were some very long games of samurai swords that were basically predicated on that balance of power thing, where it's like, you know, Japan's a pretty big place. I think we can share it. You know.
They did for a while.
For a while.
For a while, that eventually stopped.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, Monopoly doesn't really take that long if you
Huh.
don't let people off the hook.
Oh yeah, and if you don't play with all these bullshit rules where you put all the tax dollars in the middle of the table and someone hits the jackpot.
Yeah.
So no, in Monopoly you,
make
need
them
to
mortgage the property.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
collect the dollar amounts. It's
you pay your taxes. So
You're
yeah.
$10 short, you don't go. It's okay.
Well, and mortgaging properties is so important in that game because you don't collect revenue while it's mortgaged.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you got a lot of shit that's mortgaged, you better get out of it quick, otherwise you're gonna die. So
well, especially when other people can buy it too.
exactly. Yeah.
And houses are not worth the same to tear down as to build it. Like,
No.
Not worth the same to tear down.
can't cash in your
Oh,
house.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And a hotel is 4 houses plus a hotel.
Right.
Right. It is that expensive to make.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about like staying there. I'm like, what?
No,
That's
no.
pretty pricey to stay there, too.
Yeah, but I remember so many bullshit cheater rules. Well, it says right here a hotel is $1,200. You know, and so
I never played that one.
yeah, man, I've played Monopoly so many different ways just because of like everybody's got their own fucking house rules. So
Well, so tell me, what's the official on this? So I've played where people like put 3 houses on St. Charles and none on the others.
Oh, yeah, no, it has to be one.
you want to, yeah, it's 1 on each.
So I've heard otherwise.
I've seen people do that.
I've seen
Like,
people do that. It's
no,
bullshit.
no.
Yeah. So no, it says that in the rules.
I thought it did.
Yeah, you can't
But then
build
when I
2
saw-
until all property groups in the color have at least 1.
Well, do you collect money while you're in jail?
No.
Okay, again, this is the same
Yeah,
thing where
okay.
people said
Yeah.
the winning strategy of the game is to go to jail.
once you start propertying up.
Well, they're playing it wrong because you can't make any money. So
It's like, why would you even think this? It's like, I'm not trying to pick on you, but like when
Jail's
you
not
go to
supposed to
jail,
be
they
good.
actually stop you and say like, no, actually we have to take what's on you. We're gonna write down what you have, right? You don't get that money right now.
right, yeah.
The guards don't come to you and say like, hey, dude, somebody stayed at one of your places. Here's a sack of money.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you want to see people go to jail is because if you have to
Yeah.
run a gauntlet somewhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
exactly. It's like people make up rules like that thinking like they broke the game, you know, and the rule is
Well,
there
they
because
did,
fucking
but
people have been
yes.
doing this for
Yeah.
100 years. That game's old. So
yeah.
yeah. You know? So
Well, and of course, I mean, it's funny because the original version of this was anti-capitalist,
right, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and then it's so funny to turn around and say like, yeah, we see your anti-capitalist idea, but let me show you how we make money off it.
Yeah.
Right? We want to glamorize the money.
Well, and that's what everybody wanted too. I mean, it's the whole thing was, yeah, it was designed originally as an anti-capitalist game, but people thought it was cool because they got rich.
Yeah, the
So-
monopoly part was a pejorative.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until everybody else started playing and said, no, it's a fucking strategy.
Right. Yeah, it's like when somebody takes the exact wrong message from like a movie.
Oh,
They're
right.
like, oh man, Platoon's not saying like pro-war.
Right.
Where did you get that from?
You're not supposed to want to join the mobile infantry, dude. So, what did the bugs ever do to you?
Oh, that's funny. No, it's I've thought about it in hindsight when we've talked about say Uno and the very uninteresting way that you play it.
Uninteresting.
Yeah, where it's so weird that you make such bizarre concessions where you're like, no, we're gonna play it with the stupid cards where you're like, you can write some dumb shit
They
on there.
come with the deck.
I get it, but if you were gonna play the game, you wouldn't put that in there.
Well, what do you mean? What's the
You
rule?
get
Yeah.
to make up your own cards. There's blank cards that you get to make up, 4 cards.
Oh, so you make your own cards?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like
Like mortgage your house.
like instead of draw 4 wild, you can make like
Get an
draw
SS
8
tattoo.
or keep 3 cards and trade hands, or you can do all sorts of like.
How about take all the cards, everybody's cards except for one, you know?
Well, you can make that.
Or you could just make a card that says, guess what? I win.
That's
like
what I'm
that,
saying.
yeah.
Is that you play with the stupid draw on them cards, but you allow no stacking.
I allow stack.
No, I'm the guy who doesn't allow stacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the one that says you can't go out on a draw 4 card.
No,
No,
that's
I
me.
can.
That's me.
Yeah, watch.
Oh, that's
That's
you.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm the guy with the really strict Uno rules. So
Why were your kids causing problems when I was trying to stack?
Because they get it from the other house.
Oh.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't from you.
I stack.
Oh, okay, well, you were the house owner, so I thought that you actually, like, imposed the...
Whatever.
like-
It's just Uno. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
I don't care. Whatever the rules are, we switch it midway through sometimes. It don't matter.
Yeah, you can't do that. Those I have way too many bad memories of switching the rules mid-game.
Yeah,
fine.
no.
It's cool.
See, that's why you always wear the published rules too. And it's just because the game goes way faster. You know.
Some of them I didn't even know were rules.
Yeah.
Like,
There's quite a few
they're like,
rules.
no, that's
there.
literally in the rule book.
Yeah, it's in the rule book.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. It's like right there.
Well, is it draw until you play, or do you draw a card?
You draw a card.
Yeah, you draw until you play.
Yeah. See, that's what you guys do. No. In the rules, it's draw a card.
See, okay, this is what the game needs to have, right? To specify is not just the rules. They used to do it this way, where it would say tournament rules.
Yeah. Well, even Monopoly had that.
Ours are like
So-
punishment rules. It's like just
Yeah,
trying
even
to
it's
bury
strictly
someone to
punitive.
death.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's also how you also end up with like 4-deck Uno.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've had Uno decks that were hundreds of cards. I mean, like
You can't get a hand
you can't
around
get
it
your hands
anymore.
around
It's a
it.
2-hand
Yeah,
deck.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So because you can just combining decks because we play with those bullshit rules that are designed to draw until you can play.
I
Ha, ha,
literally
ha, ha.
thought that was a rule. I had
So-
no idea that it.
It's like,
It
oh,
was
reverse,
draw.
sorry, skip. I'm sorry, reverse. I'm sorry, skip. It's like, fucking
Yeah.
draw 4. It's like, God, didn't know, man. You play 1. So,
You get to send it the other way. You can.
it's not a
reverse it.
platforming game, Jeff.
No,
That's the strategy.
at that point, it just becomes another dumbass card game. The whole point
Right,
of
right,
Uno that becomes enjoyable is tea parties and.
Well, what is your favorite card game?
It's a game that I can't find anymore called Touring.
Oh,
Oh
I
wow.
lost the deck to it. I loved that game.
huh. I've never heard of it. Never played it.
It was basically it was a game about you're trying to go a certain distance, you go certain miles,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you had like offensive and defensive cards in your hands,
Mm.
right? Where in order to get like the higher like you could play things that were like 10 miles, 20 miles, that kind of thing. You're trying to get to like 200 miles, right?
Okay.
But to go at some of the higher speeds, you had to like play like a highway car,
Oh, okay.
right? And that's when other people had to make decisions on, well, am I going to play to get more points, or am I going to play to fuck up your jam,
Oh, okay.
right? And there was a lot of like deck switching and stuff like that. I was like, that game was super fun.
Is that from Grandma's house?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, super fun game. I love that game. And also there was that crazy ass free parking game that
I had that.
that did not get the same traction that it deserved because that game was wild with the meter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That game was great.
that was pretty cool.
I had that one.
Advance to Boardwalk was corny.
I never played that.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as cool.
Uh-uh.
They have one that is it's Monopoly that you have to lie.
What?
There's a game where I think it's Monopoly, and you're lying about everything. Like I'm pretty sure it's Monopoly, but I'm not positive. But I saw it at Walmart. I've never played it or anything, but yeah, you're supposed to lie about it. You lie, cheat, and steal your way through everything.
Really?
Ah, that sounds interesting.
I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
That could be fun. You know, I remember when we played that diplomacy game, and
We didn't want to backstab each other.
yeah, I finally did it to get the game moving, and
Yeah.
the lawyer held a grudge against me for the rest of the game, even though somebody had
My
to do
wife?
it. No,
The lawyer.
the water lawyer.
He was there for that?
Yes,
Oh, I don't remember that.
we played it later on, and eventually I had to do something to move the game, and he held it against me for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that game's not to be played amongst friends.
Sucked.
That's like playing tournament poker. So yeah.
Like,
I
I
never
really
played
tried to
it,
just get the
but
goddamn game moving.
Yeah.
I would be totally cool to screw you guys up.
Well, you gotta have that. You
Life.
gotta have that up front, you know. And so I remember I've only played that game a couple times. And yeah, I think the time that I played with you guys, I don't. Yeah, you didn't
I
play
was
it.
there.
Yeah.
No.
I remember playing that with Mike and Kevin. So
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did, but we
Oh.
also played it once with,
you're right. We did.
and
Yeah.
that ended terribly.
Yeah. No, that's it's an interesting game with really simple rules, but you need to play it cutthroat and make sure that everybody knows that you're playing it cutthroat. So
It's the game.
well,
know,
yeah,
but
it is.
still,
So,
like, that one was like, I get it. It's not a blow against you, man. It's like,
yeah,
look, nobody's doing this. I'm trying to move the goddamn game along.
you can do a whole lot of nothing. So if
As
you are
we
willing to
were,
do that,
yes.
I don't even know how the game works officially, but I would.
yeah. It's
totally
really
be
simple.
backstabbing
But yeah,
people.
no, you do a lot of backstabbing. So in it, you know, in fact,
Or
you
none.
or none, or you
To be
kind of
honest with
yeah, you can go one way or the other, but it's a lot harder to win. So, but yeah, like a lot of those games like that where you had some kind of like secret element to it, they're kind of, I mean, it's kind of hard to play some of those if you draw that you're the backstabber role kind of thing. So
We're not as good of liars as we think we are.
We're not, yeah,
The-
no.
frankly, the best version I've seen of that was in that Camelot game.
yeah,
And even then, when I got it, it's like you guys knew immediately.
well, and that game's cool because there's the option that there isn't one, so there's
random.
always the
Yeah,
chance
well,
that
you can play without it too, but yeah,
you can totally play without it, and everybody knows that. But you can also play the game where, okay, it's in the deck, but nobody drew it. So yeah, you don't know. That's actually pretty good. That was a neat mechanic in that game.
It's fun.
When's the last time you guys have played a board game?
It's been a little
Well,
while.
I played Carcassonne a little while
We
ago.
played Carcassonne not too long ago. We were kind of on a roll there for a bit. In fact, I still got.
You still have Ticket to Ride in your car?
I don't think so. I think
Ticket to Ride rules.
that game's awesome. So Jeff and I played the fuck out of it. I mean, we got to the point in time where we knew, like, okay, I'm going this way, you're going that way, man. Who's gonna get there first? So, and it'd be like, all right, man, you know, Jeff, you're trying to hog greens, aren't you? Yep, you're trying to hog greens. Got it. So, you know,
But we weren't like doing that on purpose. It wasn't.
no,
We weren't trying to. I mean, we were actually trying to win, and there was like some things where, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
yeah,
But there were also things where like, as much as it would, cause me joy to ruin Pat's day.
Yeah, to completely block me up in Hartford. Yeah, sure.
The other thing was like that's a sacrifice that I'd have to. It was a question of pieces, like because I'm like that's something that I'd have to lose, in terms of building the longest consecutive train.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it was a question of resources, and then when we played it with multiple people, that became a clusterfuck.
That was
But that was super fun.
That was fun. Yeah.
Because I think you were the one who were like, I'm going to start sabotaging things.
Yeah.
And you and I had this way of playing, but then when we saw that, we're like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
That game's great.
Yeah.
No, I heard that other versions of it are not as good.
So I've played the Europe one. It's got ferries in it. It is not as good. So, like boat ferries. Yeah.
I just
Well, you give me a look there, like so.
I'm trying to think, like, do they work just the same way as
They
the
do.
trains,
They
or-
do. And there's like
I wasn't thinking like
right, yeah.
Well, Europe,
Garden
no.
Pixies,
80s fairies,
yeah,
like
no. So yeah, not willow fairies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is like the map's just not as much fun. So
That's- yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of easy things on there, and there's some really hard things. Whereas the U.S. one, it's really well balanced. So we played that. What else did we play? We used to play Rebellion all the time. We should play that again someday.
I have no problem.
That game is so much fucking fun. So
I again, this is like with the rule changing. I have never seen us misinterpret rules as adults as badly as we did the first time that you
it
and
was
I played
pretty
against
bad. Yeah.
Will and Ryan. It
Yeah.
was so incredibly lopsided. We were like, how do you possibly win as the rebellion with
Yeah.
this the way it is? And then
And
just a little bit of cursory reading, we're like, this is all wrong.
we done fucked it up. Yeah. So,
so wrong.
yeah, but we got good at that game. We knew what all the cards were in the deck. And so you're playing against you, like, all right, I know you're going to use that jump strike on me eventually.
Well, it's like you
So-
either have it or not.
Right, but, if we blow through enough cards, you're going to get it eventually, And so it's like, all right, so I got a plan for that. So, and then Jeff, you're a sneaky guy, so you probably put the base right next to fucking Coruscant. So
You ferreted me out in like 4 moves.
I just figured it out. I was like, you know what? I don't think Jeff's tried this yet, so we're just gonna check all the planets around here and find this motherfucker. So yeah,
Single shortest game we ever played. Like
we played another one just because of that. Yeah,
we dug up. We'd like cleared off like 2.5 hours from our schedule because we know how this is gonna
Mm-hmm.
work. And you whooped me in like 15.
yeah.
This is stupid. No,
You gotta play the Lord of the Rings. So I got the War of the Ring game since Axis and Allies, but that
Oh wow.
yeah, it's fucking great. So it's only
Really?
2-player. Yeah.
Oh.
But it's it's almost like it's like Rebellion, but like the
Like-
characters are more important.
Oh,
So
okay. So it's not rock paper scissors combat. It's
no, it's all dice. So and it's got a really interesting system where you use dice to determine how many moves you get in a turn. So
that's interesting.
it's really interesting. I played it with my brother. So and I don't know. It's downstairs. We have to bust that out. But that's a good 3-hour game. So it's a beefy one. Yeah, it's a beefy.
I guess I should expect no less from.
An Axis and Allies type game.
one. Yeah.
Well, I was saying Lord of the Rings. type game, I
Oh
think,
well,
yeah.
yeah. I
But
guess
you're
put
right.
that together.
You marry
yeah.
those two things together, and it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, well, it's different than Axis and Allies because, like, what you get in the beginning is kind of what you get. So, I mean,
Oh.
they're
So, man, you just said like
yeah.
the most hurtful words to some people.
Oh yeah, this is definitely an anti-Kevin game. Yeah. So I'm gonna build the
What?
best army ever.
What?
Yeah. What do you mean I can't cheese the infantry system? So I'm just gonna roll over you with 1,000 guys. Yeah.
He must have been in Russia.
I seen him do that. So
well, he was the one that
yeah.
invented the
the Zerg rush.
yeah the first turn
Oh, the first turn. Yeah, the
yeah,
first turn
right.
take England in the first
yeah,
turn. Yeah.
I'd never really seen a board game Beavis, but that was absolutely it.
You know, I had the computer version of that game. So with the AI, this is like 20 years
I remember
ago.
you guys playing that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we played it for a little bit. It actually taught me the rules in that game really well. But I tried to do that bullshit that he did with Germany taking England in the first turn. I must have tried it like a dozen times, and I think I only got it to work once. So it really was kind of a long shot. And so it wasn't a sure bet stroke of genius. It was just him like, what if I take all my shit and try and take this out? So
Yeah, but the interesting thing
You're like,
is,
no. Oh shit, maybe you can.
yeah,
what happened was because of it, the strategy of the game changed.
it did.
Because it was always a risk that was on the table.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I like the 1914 one. I wish I had that one still.
What happened? Is that the one that got
It
stolen out of
hot.
your?
No, it got tossed in the garage. So, the junk cleaners. So, and I've looked online. It's like fucking $300 to get one now.
Wow.
Yeah, because it went out of print. So even though it was hands down the best Axis now, so
To my estimation, yes.
yeah, it
At
was
this
the
point,
best.
I'm willing to make that full.
That was a very different way of playing.
It was much faster,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was nice.
Yeah.
So it was much faster, and it wasn't nearly as tedious. So yes, so
There were no goddamn like monetary control zones and
oh yeah,
shipping lanes.
and U-boat strikes and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, because we played that European one quite a bit, and it had all these stupid bullshit rules in it. So
Well, kind of like the crazy versions of Risk that they would release
Yeah.
later on. I think there was like Castle Risk, and
There was.
I remember Castle Risk. Yeah,
I don't remember it being bad, but I don't remember it. I just don't remember what was about it that was supposed to be so much more strategically genius.
well, you had defensive fortifications in it. I thought.
Yeah, that was the castle part.
Right,
yeah.
but that was kind of like I can't remember exactly. There was a special rule behind it that was actually
There
pretty
absolutely
cool.
was,
Yeah.
but I don't remember what it was because I haven't. That's one I played as a kid
Yeah,
because somebody else had it.
Yeah, I don't think I played it really.
we had it. We had.
Did you have it?
Yeah, we
Okay.
had Castle Risk.
But yeah, there was that one. There's the one with like the nuclear irradiated areas. Like, risk.
I don't have. I don't think I had
it
that
was
one.
like Risk 2044.
Fallout
Oh
Risk.
yeah, there are these huge. It's like the you'd have to like place them on the map. There were just like the radiation zones. So you didn't drop the nukes,
you
but the
just,
nukes had been dropped.
Toss
Oh,
it
wow.
out and
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was
Oh.
random. You could just
crazy. There was that really dope ass version of Risk we were playing on Xbox Live.
Oh, with Chairman Meow. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the
That
ice
one was
people.
super fun.
Yeah. That one was a lot of fun. It was hard though. So, because some of the maps were huge. So
Was that the problem?
there was that, and it also took a long time. And then it's just the three of us, and a 3-player game of Risk is a bad idea. So
well, I've tried to get it, but I didn't get it yet. But like you can get like Life and all these things as
Oh.
like Xbox games,
Oh,
and so you can just literally like instead of taking forever, taking out the board, having to put all the like counts your money for you, it does all that stuff. I'm like, dude, that's cool.
yeah.
yeah, we had.
No, I agree. A lot of those are kind of fun. The interfaces are fun. Shit, I thought that Trivial Pursuit game we were playing there
I like
had a
that, too.
great setup.
Yeah.
Like, if you were gonna find a way to take that base game and make it more fun, that was genius.
That was good.
Yeah. What was the problem?
Which
It
one was that?
Was that the one that it had the fucked up matchmaking though, and it kept like dropping the game because there was something
Well,
wrong
I was
with
in
it that-
North Dakota, and then so I would drop out every now and
That was the one where like the guys they would be on the
Yeah.
little like leader tiers, and there would be the games where they would be like 16
Oh
squares.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
I
You're
remember
right.
us having a blast.
That was
with
much
that.
fun.
But there was something in there like it wasn't just that. I think there was something in there where like you had to have like a Ubisoft account or
That's what it was.
something
Yeah,
dumb in there that
you-
made it a pain
yeah.
in the ass.
Yeah. You had to have. Yeah, there was a.
It's like, why would you do that?
It was a Ubisoft account, and I can't remember why you needed it, but it was either to unlock a lot more shit.
It was something, yeah.
Or you couldn't
like the
carry
game just
over or
wouldn't-
something. Yeah, I can't remember. That's okay. We played that other one. What was it, Coral or?
Oral.
That game was a lot
great.
of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That game was fun.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
that.
Revolution. We can play that again. It's-
You guys
we
don't wanna
played
play
so
that.
much of that.
You
Yeah.
guys don't want to play that.
No, we don't
That's,
really want to play that. So only if I get to pick your
That's
shit.
man. That's a chapter in our lives that I think says we've closed the book on.
Yeah, we did
Sort of-
play a lot of it.
So again, it's
Yeah, you totally can't have it. Nobody can.
But you fucking bushwhacked me so bad.
God damn, that was funny though.
I had a newfound city.
You had me laughing so hard when you did that.
I have few memories in gaming that are as joyful as the time that you two a-holes beat down my
tried so
front door
hard.
and my back door, and you guys were closing in on me, ready to fucking
Did you get the wealth victory? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys actually had like a noose tied. You were gonna drag me through the streets, and and then the game ended. You're like,
What the fuck?
what?
the fuck?
What?
So you didn't know financial victory was a thing, Jeff. Yeah.
I fought you guys so hard. Because, yeah, that was when Will broke my line by nuking it.
Yeah.
That was a stroke of genius.
Because you only got one nuke.
You got the one.
You got the one. Yeah.
And he got it, and he blew it in
Yeah.
my front door. I'm like, this won't be a problem. I'm safe here. I've got a bottleneck. He blew it up. Then you started sabotaging shit over there on the other side. It was so super screwed.
Well, you fought us off pretty good, man. So, I mean, we had wars in that game that would last.
Man.
We had wars in that game that would last for a while. So, but then, not like Civ 4. So,
Civ 4 was different.
Civ 4 was definitely different.
That game was a little bit more. I don't want to say cerebral, but it was a little bit more meticulous. It was a little
It
bit
definitely
more
was.
deliberate.
Well, you and I got into world wars a couple times in that motherfucker.
Yeah, but again, we ended up never fighting each other because
we did every now and then. You know, I remember there was one time you moved all kinds of machine gunners into my fucking towns. And
Well,
then, you know, yeah.
I
It was
aided
like,
the
what are you
guerrillas.
doing?
Yeah, I
and
aided
he
the
was like
guerrillas.
aiding the fucking Antistasi here, man. You know?
But that was because you were kicking their fucking door in so
I kind of
badly. I
was,
was like,
yeah.
oh my god, man.
Actually felt bad for whoever I was beating up on. So.
I was like, oh, well, how does this work? It was like, okay, so I can move a unit to one of their cities, and then I can gift a unit to that civilization.
And now all of a sudden they have fucking machine guns. How did they get machine guns, Jeff? Just gonna
You were
murder all my
so confused at first. You're like, how the fuck did they get to this
Yeah.
check?
Oh, they went from fucking spearmen or whatever they had to pikemen. And I had the redcoats just mowing them down with their fifes and drums, and then all of a sudden they just World War One my ass.
Oh my gosh.
We had fun in that one though. So
We did.
I had a lot of fun playing Colonize. Colonize was a hell of a lot of fun. So
I
I
know,
enjoyed that
you had a different way of playing. Are you talking about the first one?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a unique way of playing that game, man. That I would never have expected that out of you.
What was so unique?
you're the
Chase
only
out-
guy who would
yeah.
absolutely just go after the Indians right off the
No,
bat.
no, he chased out the Europeans.
Oh, it's chasing out the Europeans. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you were the one that went straight back to Europe,
That's right.
bought more troops, and then immediately started bullying like.
That's so fucking smart, though, man.
Whereas my dad was a genocidal monster that was. He made no.
You
qualms
didn't
about-
belong here. This is how history
Yeah.
plays out.
Yeah, my dad's like he sent Tails back to Europe. He's like, they have shiny things, and I'm going to bring them to you. And he was
And you're gonna give me the ammo to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you. You were the first one because I'd never seen until you did it. I'd never seen the withdrawn from the new world
Oh yeah.
tag. I didn't know you could do that. And you're like, yeah, I chased them off in the first 50 years. It's like, well, how do you do that? You just harass them.
Yeah, they go away. Yeah.
It's not worth the investment anymore.
I love the idea of like the French just being like, fuck it. My God.
If you just get rid of one of them, then it really changes the balance of things.
It really does. Yeah.
Well, what was your move? Like, did you like seek them out, or did you? Is it just that we happen to occupy the same
Yeah,
land?
if I saw
Okay.
one of them
Yeah.
early on, then it's like, no.
Didn't you always play as the Dutch?
I love
I
it.
Because
think
they
you were
got the
Dutch,
ship.
yeah.
Yeah. They started with the
I
merchantman.
wanted that.
Yeah.
Because you loaded with troops, right?
See, I always like the English because you got a lot more guys. So, over time. Like in that beginning of the game, man, there's still like some specialists you really fucking need that you just don't get.
And I love the privateer. I just loved it.
Oh, that was such a fun
Yeah.
function of the game. Yeah. That's one thing that they did fuck up in the second version of that. The pirates weren't near as much fun as they were in the first one.
Well, because you didn't have that like fucking half-cocked grin on the side of your face,
Right.
where you're constantly saying that we would never condone piracy.
Piracy. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly.
did this game know exactly what I was thinking? Because this is the perfect response. And then just those graphics of the time, like this is genius. Like this little tongue-in-cheek humor that they have. This is amazing. Yeah. And then we found out that the I don't want to say it was a broken mechanic, but once we figured out the Super City hub and spoke with the wagon train thing, that was
It was kind of
problematic.
broken.
Yeah.
Well, we built a bigger navy than the king had. So
Dude, when we put our ship of the... No, they had the ship of the Lions.
they had we had like the man of
Man of
war or
War.
something. Yeah.
When we said we're going to declare independence, like, okay, so we're going to have a defensive perimeter, a blockade of
ships.
these
Yeah.
when they come in. It's like, all we have to do is sink a few of these on the way through.
Yeah.
And then we had basically like the fucking World War II, like rotating repair
Yep.
dock system going on. It's like, are you guys ready to fight? Yeah, and we just kept sending them out there. I remember we beat it without letting them make landfall.
Yeah, there was one time they never got on land.
That's
Yeah.
shameful. That's...
Yeah, we weren't actually playing on like, nerd difficulty either, man.
No.
So yeah,
Well, on nerd difficulty, we got our shit pushed in the first couple of times we played.
we just didn't know what we were doing.
Oh, no.
So yeah.
We hadn't done the mental math yet.
No, but then once we figured it out, it's like, wait a minute, there's no limit to your city. So, oh fuck. So you're gonna build a super colony. So, that had fucking 50 dragoons in it and cannon. So
And this ship's here automatically, here automatically, here automatically, and it just goes to the port, goes and sells, and the little...
You could set it up to do things automatically.
you could even
Not
in the old
in
one.
the first one.
Oh,
You could set up trade routes in the first one, but it was
Right.
just 2 items. The next one you could set up routes where wagons would like basically go around in multiple circles.
You could do that
Oh.
with a teammate, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Jeff and I would play as a team. Go murder the other Europeans.
Which is fascinating. I'd love the idea of like the English and like the Dutch being like, you see what our guys are doing?
Mhm.
The idea of them teaming up
Right.
is absurd.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but yeah, it was. Yeah, it took us a couple days to figure it out, but once we figured it out, it was like, all right, what are we doing this time? It's like, you gonna do the land shit and I'll do the navy, or vice versa, whatever. And so we just built a shitload of stuff.
Which is why, in some ways, I actually, as fun as that was, and I did like it. Don't get me wrong. It was actually really fun. There is a charm to the first one that
There
I absolutely
totally is.
cannot.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, those sounds are so comforting. There's so
Yeah.
the music, the
I just love that, like, you had to discover people, like, that's how you boosted your things and all that kind of stuff, and, like, you get your tiny little bit of actual history and stuff.
Yeah, it was
Some of those people I would have never known.
yeah. It was a
Simon
much
did
better
what we
game
are,
than
yeah.
people gave it credit for being at the time. So
I thought people liked it. Did it?
people
not
did
get...
kind of like it, but they were like, well, it's not like Civ, kind of thing. But it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a game where you spend, like, you're only going to sit there and play it for so long, So because
Well, it has a clicking
Exactly. So, and there were a lot of people who were like, well, just one more turn. It's like, no, you won the war, it's done. So,
You could play afterwards, but it
why?
was
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. So, it was like the same thing with Civ, I mean, I had a couple games, but once you go to Alpha Centauri, you're kind of like, okay, I'm fucking done.
and it wasn't like the game at that point was like, well, you're on Alpha Centauri now, you're gonna go ahead and set up here.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That became a different game, and to my understanding, I didn't play it, but evidently that game was a clusterfuck.
Alpha Centauri was a terrible game. So, yeah, it was
Was that by the same people?
Yeah, yeah, it was Sid Meier. He actually did that one. It wasn't near as much fun. It wasn't near as intuitive. There was all kinds of weird shit. That was the first one where he introduced borders, and they were all fucked up. So
Like the flexible borders,
Mhm.
like okay,
Yeah.
Oh, the culture wars, man. They've done so much better in later games.
yeah, they were kind of busted there for a while, where you just take over the world with fucking blue jeans and Jack Daniels. Yeah,
It was funny, man. Well, that was the crazy thing is just like Aaron, you're playing, and then it's like, what do you mean Will owns Marseille? How did he get it? It's like, well, we invented the compact disc player. Whatever. This is ours now.
right. Yeah.
Like, you fucking said what?
Why did you just sell them to us? Yeah.
Because you would get those guys
Like
that would
normal
Right,
people.
yeah. No, I remember
super
that,
culture
yeah.
guys that would let you flip a city.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
could park them right next to them. That's right. I forgot about that.
There
It's
were
like
a
I got
couple of-
Michelangelo. Your city's mine.
There were a couple of like super underhanded things in those games that like
They had the engineer that allowed you to build the great engineer. You could build any fucking
any
wonder.
wonder. Yes.
Yeah, that was so unfair. So you get one of those, you hang on to them for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see it's like, Jeff's working on the Hoover Dam.
Yeah, there was some. I don't want to say there were problems with it because they're all like good quirks of the game, like things that basically would make like an invincible wall. It would put a hole in it. Certain like when you figured out like the window for knights, you're like, okay, if I'm Germany and I do this, there is a time period where my
I'm
guys
invincible,
becomes
yeah.
so rough. It's just how long can I extend this period? I have that ticking clock
Yeah.
running against me here, so I have to whoop you guys in this period because it's a whooping. The same thing goes with those fucking Greek dudes, the hoplites.
Oh yeah, they got the hoplites in the beginning where they're basically invincible for
You're
like
not
4,000 years.
You're not gonna take their shit.
Well,
like,
and
you
that's
have to-
yeah. So you got to expand like crazy if you're playing as the Greeks because you're gonna have a bitch of a time later on. That's the one thing. The special units in that game could be so fucking unfair sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, and it had a lot to do with that era. So if you were in the early era, like if you were the Mongols and you had those fucking horsey boys, so
What?
well, they were the ones who started with the fucking the horse archer. So
Were they?
I thought in Civ 4 they might have.
Well, in Civ 4, I'm talking about the
What, Revolution?
yeah.
What did they do in Revolution?
They were the ones where if you conquered a barbarian place,
Oh,
it
it turned
became
into
a
a city.
city.
That was actually a bad thing to have. So, because you'd have some shit cities. So,
Yeah. Like you just had you had like one St. Louis and a shit ton of Detroits.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
St. Louis is kind of borderline.
No, because I remember there were some other dudes like, didn't one of the South American teams have these like crazy like healing units or?
So the Aztecs in that one, if their unit won a battle, no matter what it was, that unit would instantaneously heal. That was
a
way
problem.
overpowered. Yeah, that was way overpowered. So the Germans had the one where the units would automatically upgrade. So,
Yeah.
which meant that you went about 2,000-3,000 years in the beginning of the game where you're running around with warriors. Okay, but eventually they turned into panzers. So
Right.
all at once too. Yeah. So yeah, it was kind of unfair. So there was another one in there that was really bad like that. What was it? Wasn't the Zulus had some fucked up?
Maybe that's
about
what I'm
it.
thinking of. It's like
Yeah.
the Zulus. They had like, I think for them they had like a really mobile unit
I think it can attack multiple times or something.
Yeah, something
I
like
can't
that.
remember,
Yeah, because the Isekais were like the Jaguar guys, right?
Right.
And I had qualms with playing as the Arabs. I did it, but it never
Saladin.
felt right.
Yeah.
No, and that's given what you
They
tried.
had badass science though.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was tied to Islam, and
Right, I
didn't-
know. That's always been your thing, man. So
you saw what I was trying to do in CK2, man. It's
yes, stamp it out. Stamp it out. Yeah, I know. man.
that game had math. Some math in that game, like
so fucking
wait,
broke
this
that math.
plus this plus this plus this. Plus, I can hire all the world's mercenaries so they can't fight me.
Yeah.
Like, this is so wrong.
So busted. I'm curious if that worked in CK3, but
I don't know, but the interface was so.
it was bad.
You checked it out?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was
was
so
bad.
unwieldy that, like, I can't.
The
Mhm.
CK.
Crusader Kings.
Oh.
So it's probably the most fun like political game I've ever played. So, but it's also
Yeah, how would you explain it?
so you
It's. Would you even call it like a war game?
it can be a war game. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be. So
There's war in
yeah, there's war in it, and you do war, or people war on you every now and then. But yeah, no, it's a lot like Noah Bunga's Ambition. So you got you gotta.
We just can't say it
Yeah,
right.
I know, yeah, it's Nobunaga. I know what it is.
I know,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I did
So-
not know that's what.
It's
I've
Nobunaga.
heard you guys say it so much the other way that I had
Yeah,
no
that's how
idea.
Kevin said it. So
Again, yeah. So that's the Mandela effect. He was
He
Oda
was.
Nobunaga.
Oda Nobunaga.
That's just how people remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you basically run a dynasty. It's a family, and so you play a character, you get married, you have kids. You know, you do political bullshit like fake claims on other people's lands or war, or develop
think
your
I
own
know what you're
lands.
talking
Yeah, it's
about.
really
Do you?
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Like it's there's countries that you get, and you go to war with like little. God, was it old? Like it was. Or I
When
might be
did this
thinking of
come
a different
out?
thing.
You might be
It's
thinking
been
of
a
a different
while.
thing, but
I'm thinking more of a Knights one.
This is definitely Knights. So it's definitely
you're
yeah.
thinking of Genghis Khan 2.
Oh, it's very like that.
Okay, so actually, yeah, it does have a lot of elements like that where, at least to me, the appeal of this game is there's an element where if you're a man and you play this game and you play it the way that it's intended to be played, right? And I'm not talking about the way that I cheated the system that was fair. But the game is like, look, here's the country that you live in, okay? Here are the conditions, okay? You're Catholics, right? You have fealty to this area, right? They're the ones who are in control of this, right? That's you are this religion, the people around you are this, you can hire people from anywhere. But you're beholden to these ideas unless you make decisions. And they say, like, all right, well, you decided, events will happen. It'll say,
Yeah.
do you want to investigate this? Like, what do you want to do? And they seem like just throwaway things at
They're
the time.
not.
And then
They're
you do that.
totally
And sometimes
not.
they're silly things. Sometimes they're like, well,
Oh, you get a puppy. Yeah.
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 It seems like little things. And then every now and then you go down a path where it's like, oh, well, actually, you kind of, you've gotten yourself into witchcraft.
Yeah, you're a Satanist now.
And
Yeah.
there are things
Yeah.
like where it's like, do you keep it a secret, or do you actually,
declare war on the Pope?
or do you like say like, okay, well, there was one time, this is like straight out of history, where it was like, I need a divorce, but I'm Catholic, you can't. I'm like, well, we'll change our religion, and the Pope is like, you do what? I'm like, come get some, because at that point I was like, I can do this.
He totally Henry VIII.
Yeah, I did,
So,
and he's
yeah.
just like, the whole world's gonna hate you. It's like, that's their problem. Not mine. And the same shit where like sometimes again it was the other things like, so you have heirs, right? There was one time where
Oh my God.
all I had was a daughter,
Yeah.
and in my misogynistic bullshit country, they're like, this can't happen. I'm like, actually no, we're gonna change this. And so I changed this so it's like, well, women can be in charge, right?
She got rid of the primogenitor.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Oh man, that's
that was
so
the
hard
thing
to do.
is there were so
Did
many.
they kill your daughter?
You look, man. You can.
They'll try.
They'll try.
Yeah.
You can kill them. You can imprison people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's. That's the thing is, so the game happens, and you're trying to make life happen. You're trying to make things happen, but there are things that life happens around you. How do you deal with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
That includes things like illness. There are things like just all. There are times when you have insanity, right? Yeah, because that's the one where eventually, like, your responses are like, bark at him.
Oh,
Yeah, well, so that happened to me where like
Yeah.
so I was this badass like
Yeah.
super war king, go around. I took a hit on the noggin on the battlefield, and then so like all of my advisors turned into animals. So yeah, because that's what they look like to me now. So yeah, and all the
Oh
words
my
like
God.
meow,
Genius, yeah.
moo.
oh my
This
god!
game is genius. Yeah.
So that my whole kingdom is burning down around me, and I'm just like, yeah, I like animals.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar thing with one of my, I had a really good character going once, and he had a really, really good kid, okay, like a genius, like, full, like, got lucky on the die roll on everything. I was like, oh,
Well,
this
and you spent the time with him too.
is fucking
and
great.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I took him hunting and did all the
Yeah.
things, and,
This
so-
would say there is some Genghis Khan in this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a great spouse lined up, so I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. They're the same age, you guys like each other and stuff." The guy turns like 16 and turns gay.
Yeah, that was the
day.
one that doesn't like women.
Yeah, and I was like, "You gotta fucking shit me!" And I was like, "Well, that's okay. He'll work through it. Never worked through it, man." So, I play as this guy. I am flamingly gay, and I was like, well, I guess I'm flamingly gay. Sure, let's go around and chase every gay guy that I can find around here.
Oh my
kind of thing.
gosh!
See if I have a kid. Never had a kid. Whole kingdom fell apart upon my death.
Right.
It was great.
Wow!
You have if you have relatives, man.
They were
That sounds so cool.
That's
Oh,
the thing.
it's
I
fucking
think
fun.
you'd really
Yeah,
like this
it's
game.
really fun.
Like it's not okay. So I
It's
did
really hard to learn.
the interface. Like
It's
at first, I
terrible.
was so intimidated. I'm like, I don't get what the fuck's going on. So Pat walked me through the basics. Like if you play it, sit down with me or Pat for
Yeah.
like just an afternoon till it makes sense, and then just go nuts, right?
Yeah.
Because at first you're like, I don't know what the fuck any of these things do, and the game is so bad at explaining it.
It's
It is-
terrible. It says it has tooltips, but yeah, not really. It doesn't
That's
really
a
tell you
relative
what to
term,
do.
man.
Yeah.
That's tooltips is generous.
So, but no, so there's a new one out, CK3, that came out last year, and it's just not as much fun. So, because, I got used to the old interface and the things that you could do and things like that. But my understanding is that the new one's actually got a lot more of the story bullshit in it, so I'd be kind of curious to give it a shot again, maybe. So,
I might, yeah.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
maybe they look. It might have gone through some revisions. It might be a
Yeah.
little bit more streamlined and shit. And those games from that company are like notoriously.
they're hard to learn.
Well, aren't they notoriously clunky in their first iterations and
They
shit? too?
can be. Sometimes they don't fix them, though, like that stupid Rome game, so which I was really excited about.
Yeah,
but it
you were
was-
way into that.
God, it was dumb though. So once you realized kind of that the game really didn't have much meat on its bones, and it was just like a lot
Oh.
of flash, and I was like, because CK2 and Rome would be great. So
It sounded like and we were all listening to Dan Carlin
Dan Carlin
and
at
reading
the
about it.
time,
we were
yeah.
like all soaked in it. It's
You're
like,
talking about bottles and chains.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like America's fine. We don't have gangs fighting in the street, not knowing that 2022 was around the corner.
Yeah, fighting over the stupidest shit. Too.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd get a kick out of this. And yeah, there's a lot of expansion packs and other things. But yeah, if you're
man,
looking for something that you could like kill some time with at work,
It's
because
great.
it takes nothing out of you when you're like this was I played this on the rig a lot. There was no harm in pausing this.
No, it's turn-based.
There's no part to you where it's like, oh shit, I'm going to miss a stand. No,
Uh-uh.
you're not going to get that involved. But Yeah, there's just something fun where if you swear to have the guts to let the game play and not try to save scum it,
Yeah, you just gotta let it go, man. So
you
because
just have to commit.
yeah, you
You
just
say
have
that's
to
world
commit,
history.
and
Yeah,
that's how it happened, man.
yeah, because there was one game where you
So-
ended up in prison for like 20 years,
I,
right?
dude, I ended up in prison for like almost all of my life, and I was the heir to my kingdom. Okay, but I'm sitting here rotting in prison, and then it was so fucked up. I had this like redemption arc going on at the end, where finally I got busted out of prison because I was so sick. So they're just like, okay, let him go. And so I go back and I recover, and in the meantime, my heirs are building up this piece of Ireland into this like fucking fortress. So that was full of like, well, I had done a lot of work before I got captured. But then I wound up taking over all of England and executing the motherfucker who put me in prison. It was great.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I think you'd get a kick out of this because I remember you were the one who in Genghis Khan you were like when you saw a game that let you execute people, you were just joyful.
Oh, yeah.
You're like this is really up his alley.
You can execute people. You can torture people in this game. You can put them in the oublet. So yeah, which is
Wow.
basically like a metal box. So yeah,
Yeah,
lived
and
in there very
Just
long.
the number of ideas, I'm like,
Oh, and you,
overwhelming.
the amount of like
Yeah.
flex, it doesn't feel like it in the beginning. Okay, so when you start out and you're just one like little liege lord with a little chunk of land, you feel like
Unless I mean you can play as
you can play as the King of England from the beginning if you really want to. All right, so, but I mean, there's something like really rewarding about being the guy who goes from just being a nobody to being the emperor of like Western Europe or
well
something.
emperorship. That was something I taught you.
Emperorship is definitely that was definitely something that Jeff taught me because he was like, I don't deal with you unless you're a king,
No,
So,
I'm going to appoint you. It's because the whole thing was, I will put myself in a position where it's best for you guys to fight with each other and not me.
right.
Right?
It's
You
a very
answer
big
to me, and this was the crazy thing. Will is they the people under you, right? They live their own lives too,
Yeah.
which means they're marrying their daughters and sons off and things like this. So while you're the emperor of Britain and you've divided things into multiple kingdoms, right? Their families are getting married and doing other things too. So you look at the world map after a while and you see like there's a chunk of Germany that becomes Britain. Why? Because somebody
they
married
married
into it,
somebody, yeah.
right? I'm like, I didn't do that, right? I just collect money from you.
Yeah,
guys.
because it pays to be the emperor. Yeah.
And that was the shit where I would also assign all of the churches
That's so fucking busted, man.
and all of the
So-
mayorships to one person
guy.
apiece.
And so you just had to deal with one guy. So if you had one guy, and as long as that guy was always going to be your buddy because you gave him everything.
Yes.
So
So my holiness and my
Yeah.
city guys, they were just paying me. They were
Mhm.
so grateful. One
that's
man
so fucking brilliant because you completely hack the entire feudal system that way and turn it into basically like
you just paint the biggest target on their back, not yours.
Exactly, but there's so many of them. They're so powerful, at that point in time. But they're so grateful to you because they were yours to give away.
Uh-huh.
So, but then like the local liege lord is like, "Hey, that's in my territory." It's like that sucks to be you, buddy. You're not
You gotta
charged
go talk to
that.
the man,
yeah,
yeah.
you gotta go talk to the
Yeah,
man.
you got a problem with him, you gotta talk to him. It's like I never see it.
You got the IRS and the church. So you're in charge of those two things.
It's like, well, how am I supposed to talk to him? It's like, because he's in London, he's in Manchester, he's in Paris.
Right.
He's it's like you have a guy who's mayor of like 60 towns.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like he's not gonna come visit you.
No, you mean nothing to him.
Write him a letter if
Yeah,
you're
write him
pissed.
a
It's
letter.
like,
Yeah.
oh, like Pat was so vindictive. Like when what was it, SimCity 4, when the people that came to
Oh.
bother you
I think that was 2.
was 2. SimCity 2000.
No, I think it was 3. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the first one that had the Sims people in it. So I think that was 3.
What was this 3? Okay.
Yeah.
This was something I enjoyed. This tell them about.
So they had these little pop-ups on there, and they had these like cartoony character guys that were, citizens around your town and stuff. You could also click on people in it, and they would give you feedback on your mayorship and stuff. But some of these guys would pop up every now and then. There's this guy. His name was Joe. He belonged to the below average bowlers league, and he would consistently bitch about sanitation in town. So I was like, I mean, I would try and help, and I would like, okay, let's done some more dump, let's get some more garbage trucks out there, and he still bitch about it. So after a little while, I was just like, all right, this house right here, this is fucking Joe's house. All right, and Joe's house is now surrounded by dump. So
Last complaint you'll make.
yeah, you just find like little things like that in those games to enjoy. But when you have a game like CK2 that dishes them out to you, that's even better. So
That is kind of cool.
because you'll have guys they'll try and backstab you, or they'll kill somebody in your family, and you just be like, you'll just start seeing red. You know, you're like, that was my favorite boy.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
we will hunt you to the ends of the earth. I myself will personally feast on your heart.
Hell
Kind
yeah.
of thing.
That shit happened, or like
It happens. Yeah.
because a lot of times, sometimes you didn't know who was conspiring. against
Right.
you.
Right.
Sometimes it was so funny the way things that would happen, where it's like you're leaning against a rail and it breaks.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, and sometimes sometimes you can figure it out, right? That was also when I figured out that. That's also when I figured out that your who was that guy? Who was the guy in the fucking like Darth Sidious robe? Where you could use. Oh no, it was that the like your spy master
Oh yeah.
could be
Because
used
they're
to
cities.
could be used to actually like quell like assassination attempts and stuff.
Yeah.
Where he's like, because I remember you showed, he's like, well,
Put him on assassinate defense, you know, and he basically like uncover plots is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is what I'm talking about. Like, this was stuff where I started fucking around with the different junk, and I was like, Pat did a really cool solid on me. He's like, he had to show me exactly what this crap does in just basic terms, and then you just like fuck around with it, and then like, it's weird because it's not as much as it is an empire building game. It isn't.
Mm-mm.
Like,
It's family
you
management. Yeah.
Again, my whole thing was I got it in my head that if I and what years was that set?
So it started.
Like 990 something? No, 1066.
Yeah. Well,
It was-
there was like 3 different start dates on the basic game. I think it was
It
1066.
had to be, right?
But there was an expansion that I bought that was like Vikings, and so it went all the way back to like Charlemagne, so which is like
Wow.
700s. So and
okay.
that one was real. I don't know if you ever played that one.
Is that the one where the countries are like this big a piece?
Yeah, they're tiny. So yeah,
Okay.
and there's tons of them. So because it's all busted up, until Charlemagne reunites it, and then if you play like the 870 or whatever, then it's like France.
Okay,
Yeah. But there was one where the Vikings start showing up, and you get fucking ass raped. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
oh, it's bad. So
I dealt with them though.
yeah. Oh, I had one game where like I was trying to do the whole like Alfred the Great kind of thing and fight off the Vikings, and they just mopped the floor with me every single time. I tried
That
to
was
do
one
it.
of my vengeance moments where I'm
Was
like,
it?
yeah, because after, man, they really caused some trouble. That was like, I'd see their boats leaving, and I'd be like telling like my robotic, owl, like, follow that boat to where it goes,
Right.
because we're gonna go chase them down to where they live. But yeah, that was the shit where yeah, I had those moments of vengeance
Mm.
because of shit like that. Yeah, you caused me some grief in a while, and in my head, I don't remember why. I don't remember what was going on, but I just had this idea that in like, well, if it's in 1100, and if I stamp out Islam now, then 9/11 will never happen.
Well, the map does go that far, man. So
Dude, I was. Oh,
I got so
Lord.
much of the deals. I even got the one with the Chinese in it, man. Where it's
Really?
well, they're not in it, but they run the Silk Road, and so you
Oh,
can curry
okay.
favor with the Chinese emperor if you're in that part of the world. I was, I think most of the games that I played, I either started in England or France. So I was usually pretty far away from them guys.
Yeah,
So France was fun to play just because there's so much shit going on. So
France is a problem.
France, it is a big problem.
France.
Yeah, it's a very fighty place.
It's not just fighty. It is. First off, yes, you have the Romans next door.
Right.
So you have decisions to make where it's like, how nice am I going to play? And then there's, of course, it's like, well, am I going to Germany? Am I going to Spain?
Right.
Am I going to cross the channel? Am I going to go harass the English? Am I going to go... and all the while, there is just all this notoriously French crap going on, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a cool thing if you ever got England completely united.
Oh,
So then you could just watch all the chaos going on across the channel. So
Or you could stir the
and then
chaos.
you go
could
start
create the
stirring it,
chaos. Yeah. Again, it's just when I conquered Rome, there were like, we're gonna make some new decisions. I'm like, so these are the tree creatures you worship. Because there was this one weird like Wiccan symbol
Oh yeah.
thing that you could do. I'm like, well, that's a state religion now, I guess. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
You worship a bush.
I did play as the Vikings once, so
I went after him hard, man.
where you start up in like way up in Finland somewhere,
and that no, not Iceland, but there's another island up there, way up in the upper left-hand corner.
So
Fucking troublemakers.
oh no, I played as them. They were actually a lot of fun to play as. So you could get challenged by people in your clan for leadership, though. So if I recall.
That's like the movie, yeah. That's
Yeah, it doesn't always work out like it does in the movies. So yeah.
Did you die?
Yeah. So, but you can decide some of that stuff, how your clan is actually organized.
Oh,
So
right,
those
right.
are some of the decisions you get to make. So,
But yeah, I think you actually would get a kick out
You
of
probably
it.
get a kick out of it.
If you have time, like, are there any? Would you enjoy any of that stuff now, or you're just kind of like, I don't know.
Probably. I just don't have time to.
yeah.
Like, what do you do at work now?
I'm studying for the cert,
Yeah.
Okay.
so. And then I don't know. I feel weird bringing in my own computer to play.
Do
games.
guys do that at your office or no?
Not really.
Oh, so yeah, you'd have to bring in your own machine. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I got you on that. So, yeah, it's not necessarily the kind of game. I mean, it wouldn't take up any room on any computer. It's so old now, but
No, but yeah,
they wouldn't let you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. So,
So, it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
We'll see.
that's
Huh.
all right.
We'll
get on
see
down
what time
before
goes,
here,
when
yeah.
what goes, and all that. So
Well, I am in the middle of Street Fighter, but I can
That's
always
fine.
I can always make time.
We can give it a few
Diablo.
more weeks. So
I can always make time for Diablo with you, Pat.
I hear there's some pretty decent patches coming out for it already. So,
What patches like it has problems or?
well, of course it's a Blizzard game, so of course they fuck up the balance in the beginning. So,
Oh, like that matters to me. Like,
oh,
I'm
it
not
doesn't
gonna
matter
play
to
against
me.
anybody.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're not gonna play against other people. So, yeah, no,
You know, I'm not gonna PvP anybody. I just,
no,
yeah,
no.
I suck at stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not
I'm just here to go like swing a stick at spit dogs with Patrick.
spit
by my
dogs.
side.
Yeah. So,
We'll know spit dogs.
you
All right.
know spit dogs. Yeah.
Any last thoughts here?
summer. There's no real good sports.
Baseball. The Rockies set
As
a
we
record
said,
the other day.
we-
Did you see that?
That's in
That
our
did come
previous.
up. Yeah, that
was great.
Yeah, our previous episode involved
You talked about the infamous new record.
hanging 25.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And still winning the series.
I know.
I didn't know that.
They
Yeah,
should've-
so
they-
yeah.
it hasn't been that lopsided
A differential.
of a run, like your run score run against and winning a series since like 1800. or
Yeah,
something.
it was a long-standing record.
Honus Wagner was definitely
Honus
involved,
Wagner
right?
was involved. Yeah. So yeah,
They were still using the Baltimore chop.
yeah,
as
that
their-
was actual Casey Jones. Yeah,
I heard him say that on the radio. I was like, oh my god, wow.
the Rockies are so bad. They're so
But
terrible.
they're not the worst
man.
team in the league.
I know they're not the worst. Well, they're close.
They're like-
so,
No, there's yeah, but that's not the worst.
And one of them is moving.
who's what?
Oakland?
Oh yeah, Oakland. Yeah,
They're going to
terrible.
Vegas.
They're going to Vegas.
They're going to Vegas too.
They're going to Vegas. They got approved at stadium, so they're
Yeah.
got a shiny new stadium in Oakland or in
Or
Vegas.
Vegas. And a great big homeless camp in Oakland. You know? Just put a tarp over it.
What?
You
I
didn't
can't
know that
believe
the
you
A's
didn't
were
know
moving?
this.
No.
Oh, wow,
No,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they're both going to Vegas.
Well, that's been out for a while, so yeah.
That's a real connection there then.
That Oakland sucks.
Well, no, but that both teams went there, that you have that link of fans that might have some crossover.
Oh, maybe, man. So
See, one of the sadder things I saw was I saw a chart of basically population decline in certain cities.
it's pretty bad.
And it was like that Pittsburgh, Cleveland,
Mhm.
area, and that was the whole thing where they're like, if you ever wondered why certain teams had four, sports clubs but have less than like 300,000 people,
There you
it's because of this.
Yeah.
Mm.
go. Yeah, no, I saw a little bit of that on my trip.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
you were just in Michigan, so
I
I mean,
was. Yeah.
are there signs of like?
Some of those little towns are kind of hollowed out, man. So yeah, it's not the way that it was before. I mean, some of them are fine, but there's a couple that are kind of like, ugh, there's a lot of vacancy here, man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No more good sports stuff.
And then you go back into Denver, and it's like, holy shit, man. There's even more houses here than there were last time. I was just here like 3 weeks ago.
Bro, look, all right. Before you shut up, yeah, I was going to meet one of my students in because they went to Denver for the. You probably have heard about this. It was about the psilocybin
Psilocybin. Yeah.
conference there where they were
Yeah.
talking about these like 20,000 people attended.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they went there, and these are the people from San Francisco,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like, we have to find a house here.
Oh, okay. Good
Yeah.
luck. So
Well, yeah, they came there and they're like, God, this place is just amazing. It's like
I have some inside information on San Francisco though. So yeah, we'll have to. We're at time, so we'll save that.
no, okay, make it quick.
No.
No. I will not.
It's not as bad as people think it is. So yeah, I'll talk to you about that a little bit more.
Okay.
So, but I have a cousin. I didn't realize she lives smack in the middle of San Francisco.
Okay.
So I talked to her about it quite a bit, and she says it's not as bad as people are making out to be. She says there's parts of it that are really bad. So she's like nobody goes there anymore. So yeah.
Okay.
My girlfriend's family lives there, so.
In San Francisco itself. Yeah, I'd ask them.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well then, close up shop.
Okay. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.